Welcome to the Love Kanika podcast. Woo. My name is Kanika,
My name is Vanita.
and we are back for another show. As always, if you are new to the show, thank you for tuning in. I would appreciate if you don't mind liking the video and subscribing because we are a new podcast. Basically, we've been doing it for maybe a year or so now. So we're trying to build our audience. So we'd appreciate all the help that we could get. And again, thank you for joining.
Yes.
What's up, V?
Nothing. It's
I
Wednesday, hump
know
day.
halfway through to the weekend.
Hey, the weekend. That's what I be
Oh,
waiting
girl,
for.
love the weekend. And they ain't got no
Same here.
homework. Homework is done. Oh, it's on. Ain't got to focus. I can tap out. It's over.
I get you. I hear you loud and
You
clear.
know what I'm talking about. Okay.
Yes.
So tonight we're going to have a scenario we're going to talk about. And Vanita and I are going to give our opinion. Um, on this situation, which is a bit multi-layered. So we're gonna peel back these layers like an onion and see if we can give this young lady our opinion on her situation. So the situation is, dear Kanique, my fiance of 3 years left me and our three kids to move in with the woman he was cheating on me with. I am angry, bitter, heartbroken, and I don't know how to go on because our kids are going to suffer from his selfishness. Hmm. So, Vanita, what do you think about this situation?
Well, I think the biggest thing that stands out to me is the kids are going to suffer from this.
Hmm.
Um, I would have to ask that young lady, why do you perceive that?
Yeah, that's a good question. That's a very
Uh,
good question.
because if he stays and he does not really want to be there, your kids are going to feel the energy of such.
Yes,
Whether
correct.
he's in the house with you or whether he's not, if he's going to take care of his kids, he's going to take care of
I agree with that 100%. 100%. You don't have to be with your children's other parent
them.
to make
No,
sure your kids are okay and taken care
exactly. So that's the biggest part. Read the beginning part one more time for me,
of.
please.
Okay. It is my fiance of 3 years left me and our three kids to move in with the woman he was cheating on me with. I'm angry, bitter, and heartbroken.
So, as far as he's leaving, he was cheating. I mean, it doesn't specify how long he had been cheating. Clearly, it was a disconnect at some point in time, or he just simply got bored, which that tends to happen quite often when you have kids.
I think that'd be the main reason that a lot of men check out and leave and cheat. But go ahead.
Yeah. Um, so he was probably bored. They don't have one, but they have three kids.
Ugh, can you
So
imagine?
if it's three kids of 3 years, that means you started off having kids right when y'all got married for the most part.
They're not even married. It's a fiance.
Oh, it's a fiance. Okay,
Hmm.
so you had three kids with the fiance. Mm, you probably should have stopped at one and really muddled through whether this was a good idea for you guys or not. Nonetheless, you've already made the decision. All you can do, you can't force anybody to be with you at the end of the day. So all you can do is focus on your kids, find your network, your support system, and parent them kids and be ready. I mean, this isn't for everybody, but I'm gonna say hypothetically in her scenario, you she's probably, I mean, you're probably not gonna get nobody to get into a relationship anytime soon. So you may want to just buckle up, relax, and be okay with just it being you and your kids and focus on your kids. I mean, I don't I'm
I
sorry.
mean, that's real talk. I mean, I first let me start off by saying my perspective on this doesn't come from whether what he did was right or wrong.
Yeah, I mean, people got
Because
choices.
here's the good choices. All of us at some point, whether we have kids or not, have most of us, I'm not going to say all of us, but most of us have had somebody to decide that they no longer want to be in a relationship with us.
Most definitely. And you have decided you didn't want to be in a relationship with them.
Everybody has either been on one side of the fence, most people on either side at different times, right?
Exactly. Yep.
Particularly at this age. So
Yes.
my perspective doesn't come from whether he was right or wrong because it hurts. It hurts when people walk out of our lives.
I agree.
I I've had people walk out of my life. if you haven't got a chance to go listen to my podcast called I Have a Twin Flame, right? It
Hmm.
really, I detail someone who not walked, he took a boat, a plane, and a ship to get up
He
out of there.
fled, in other words.
I can cover
He
it.
took all modes of transportation.
Yes,
Golly. Okay.
yes. He left. He couldn't deal with my neediness and low self-worth at the time. And it
And I
hurt.
agree. Let me say real quick, you're not the only one. The one I had fled to a whole nother state on my butt. So I get it.
Yeah, they leave. And
Facts.
it hurt me to my soul because
Core.
I loved this man. I love this man with my whole soul. So imagine loving someone so deeply and then they come to your house because he wasn't even no kind of, he was a G about that shit. He was a G. He came to my house, knocked on my door, pulled me in my bedroom, stood in my face, and said, and I quote, I can't do this with you no more. You are ruining my life. You call my job, you pop up at my job, you ride by my house at night with your nosy ass, which was true.
Sheesh.
Me and my girls, we would get in the car, she would drive, I would duck. And I would say, oh, do you see anybody? She was like, it's a car there. I'm like, oh, you know what I mean? Because I'm like, it's a girl, right? Just
Of course. That's
craziness.
what first thing go to your mind. Yes.
Craziness. So he got sick of the drama and he came to my house and he broke things off with me.
At least he was a G about it and broke it off with you.
He was a
Some won't
G.
even give you that information. So,
That, I'm telling you, and although it hurt at the time,
of
heavily
course.
hurt for a very long time,
Hmm.
I respect the fact that he kept it real.
Exactly.
He didn't flee. He kept it real. It's over between me and you.
Period.
So it hurts, right? I'm not here to make a judgment on whether he was right or wrong because he did what was best for him in his life in
Real
that
talk.
moment. My point in saying all of this is life is about change. Life is change, right?
It is.
Everything changes. The way as we age, the way we look changes, the way our body changes. The
You can go
season,
all the way back to elementary school. You don't stay in elementary school forever. You go from elementary school to high school or to middle school to high school to college if you choose to, and then on from there. So that tells you in itself that everything changes.
everything changes. Um, that's life. We lose people, we gain
Hmm.
people.
Hmm.
It's forever
Facts.
a constant rotation. That's the cycle of life.
Hmm.
So when someone decides that they no longer want to be with you for whatever their reasons may be, they have a right to change their mind.
They do.
Just like when you, because I'm sure you've been on the other end too, and all of us have, when you decided you sick of somebody, they get on your nerve, they whatever, you want their bullshit, they cheat, whatever, and you decide that you don't want to deal with them anymore, you had a right to change your mind.
Exactly.
This situation that I'm in with you is no longer working for me. The problem that a lot of women face, and I say women because most of the time women are the ones who either have to kick somebody out because he acting a fool or he leaves.
Hmm.
It's it's very rare that women just up and leave a relationship for another man. It's very rare. It's something that done happened where she had to kick him. Either he left for whatever his reason, or she had to kick him to the curb because he doing some, the BS men do.
Sometimes it may not even be BS.
Sometimes
Sometimes
it
it
may
could
not be.
be a fact that they just don't feel like they connected to that individual no more. Now that's extremely rare
Yeah,
coming
and
from a female side.
it is. And the issue that a lot of women face in relationships, particularly, I'm going to say in our community, in this community, more than I think any other community,
Hmm.
is that most of our relationships will not go the distance, right? They won't
Hmm.
last a lifetime. Most relationships won't last a lifetime. They definitely in our community because we're dealing with a lot of trauma, you know, the
Very
men
true.
and the women. We're all filtering through a lot of trauma. And a lot of times we get into these, the majority of the time, we get into these relationships based on some sort of trauma bonding. Whether you're lonely, you're void, you don't know what your purpose is, whatever thing you need somewhere to live. Men would definitely move in with a woman for a roof. Whatever it is, it's rare that two whole individuals come together to get into a relationship. It's usually two broken individuals. That's how they got together. They're energetically they attracted each other because they're on the same vibrational wavelength. They're vibrating at the same place. So it's true that you attract in wherever you are on your spiritual journey. That's not good or bad. If we all are evolving at different rates over probably hundreds, thousands, who knows how many lifetimes we've had, our soul is always evolving. So
Hmm.
it's okay, if you may not be as evolved or as healed as somebody else. That's okay because we're all on our spiritual journey.
Hmm.
However, we have to understand that on this journey, people are going to come and go out of our lives. That's just life, right?
Yes.
Women would be it would be easier for women if women didn't make and listen, if you want as a because most women think they want kids because society breeds you, they program you that way. They ever since you came out the womb, you've been given a baby. So that's all you know. It's they did that to you, right?
Hmm.
But what women a lot of women don't really think about when we're in these relationships and we're having these kids by these men is that this relationship more than likely is going to be temporary.
Yes. And then
Even with marriage,
you still got to deal with him
you
afterwards.
still you still got to deal with him afterward. Hopefully, if you got kids by him, hope he stay and take care of the kids and not drop everybody.
Hopefully.
Hopefully, but nonetheless, women we don't think ahead, right? And so,
Very true.
just like this young lady, she didn't think that though she had three kids down there, she wasn't even there. A fiance, men give women shut up rings. A fiance, they do it all the time. Then a fiance, you just to shut you up, to nagging them to get married.
Oh shit.
A fiance, and then wonder why she's in this situation. And I'm not saying marriage is to have all end all, because I done seen men and men leave a woman and divorce her, leave her and the kids or whatever. It's not to have all end all. But the issue is when we making these permanent decisions like kids, and this is definitely for the younger generation of women because we're not at our age and had them, they got grandkids at this point, probably.
Exactly.
It kind of is what it is. Make sure that you are going to be okay with the choice you make, even if this man is long gone.
Exactly.
Make sure you, when you decide to make this permanent choice in this temporary situation, that it don't matter if he there or not. You want your baby, and you willing to do it with or without him,
Please.
with or without the relationship. Because the issue a lot of women have is they don't really want a baby; they want a family, right? That
Yep.
means the man too. It's all of us. Real,
The
real.
picket fence and the dog as well.
Make it fit the dog with unit because that's the 3D template the Matrix has given you of what a family looks like. A family looks like me, you, kids, and a dog, a house. That's what the Matrix tells you. So that's what you have been programmed to believe. So that's what you do, right?
That's
But
true.
there are nuances that the Matrix don't show you in these movies and TV because that's where y'all got it from. The
Hmm.
movies and these TV shows y'all been programmed with since you were little, they don't tell you that there are circumstances and situations that they're not going to put in the movie that's going on, right? They're not going to tell you the man may get bored as F with you and these damn kids. It's the same old bullshit every single day. Y'all don't go to work. You come home. You have to feed your kids. You have to bathe your kids. You go to bed. You too tired, probably frustrated. You probably don't want to have sex for numerous reasons. He gets frustrated. He gets mad. Now
He
he's feeling
feels like you're
neglected.
not paying him no attention.
He feels neglected.
Yep.
Well, you got neglected and bored. Where you just trying to keep the kids fed and keep, things going in the house.
Yep.
He's worried about his attention. Because men are really children in adult bodies.
I was going, yep. There you go.
They don't most men don't emotionally mature till later on in life.
Yeah.
I mean, late 40s, 50s, 60s.
I was about to say 50s, 60s.
Later
Later.
on. And I say
Hmm.
this because I look at the men just in my family and how they were in their 30s and all the drama that was ensuing in the relationships and how they are now in their 60s, night and day.
Hmm.
The sun and the moon. Like they have
Yep.
completely, I'm talking about church, God, everything down in their 60s, but was hell on wheels in their goddamn 30s. I've seen this myself. It takes me a long time
It
to get to
does.
that point. So if you decide to have a kid by any of these men, you got to be ready for whatever change life is going to bring to you. You got to be ready for that. You got to be okay with that. Because just because you want a family, don't mean that he want one with you.
Exactly.
Everybody got a right to make the choices that they feel are best for their life. And if that comes with kicking you to the curb, so be it. You have to be loyal to yourself. To thyself be true. The problem with women is you have been programmed to sacrifice your life for everybody else.
Yep.
Your community, your race, your family, your kids, your grandkids, your man. And then when that isn't returned to you, you feel some type of a way.
You
But the
do.
choice to sacrifice yourself is on you. So if you choose to do that, everyone,
You are the one who sets your boundaries. You are the one that self preserve. You.
you
Nobody
got
can do it for you.
you got to look out for yourself, particularly in a community that honestly don't really care much about the women. It just don't. This is a community that worships the men, interestingly enough. So you really have to be cognizant on how and what choices you make and why you're making them, and also what place they're coming from. That's why I always talk about healing because a lot of Black women, us, we make a lot of our choices out of broken places because we didn't have, a lot of us didn't have daddies. Some of
Exactly.
us didn't have mamas, nanas and daddies.
Yep.
So we make a lot of our choices out of low self worth and void.
Yep.
We just want somebody to love us. right? I was fortunate. I came from a family that just spews love,
Hmm.
spews it all over. And
Yep.
so I've never really had that deep longing to be loved because I had so much of it growing up. I was very blessed with that. But I understand it though. I understand because Vinny and I talk about all the time. I can't imagine what it feels like to not grow up blanketed with love. I can't imagine that. Like what that may do to someone's heart and do to someone's soul when the very people who brought you into the world, can't even give you the love that most children need, right? The love,
Hmm.
affection, and attention. But I also understand that most kids didn't come out of no loving relationship.
No.
Out of
If you guys think about it, really, really think about this.
yeah,
Most of the individuals, including yourself, if you have kids, was your kids planned? Did you and whoever
right.
their father say, okay, let's have a kid together? How
No,
often do you hear that? You don't
it's
hear it often.
rare.
Extremely rare. Extremely, extremely rare.
It's rare.
Most kids are a product of a good time.
And that's my point. Most of us, I was a product of marriage, but most kids are a product. Even though I was a product of marriage, my mama didn't even want a marriage. Honestly, she told me she didn't want it. She just did it because that's what everybody was doing. So I know. What she said, she didn't want to be married. I was just doing it because everybody else doing it. Nonetheless,
Mm-hmm.
those kids are not coming into this world in between loving parents that want them. We're having
Mm-mm.
kids behind situationships and jump and sexcapades and all of that.
Exactly.
Which do what you do, get it how you live because life is short. But when you bring a child into this drama, right? As a woman, you better make sure you want that kid with
You
all your
better.
heart and soul. Cause just
You
because you
better.
want it ain't gonna check in and all of that. A lot of times these men don't want these kids. I know y'all seen that video with that man saying it's going around. I'm sure y'all seen it. Where he said he got X amount 7 dating mamas and he don't support none of the kids because he didn't want
Jesus
them
Christ.
and he told the women he want them. I'm sure y'all seen it, right? Again, just because you want a baby with him and a family with him does not mean he wants one with you. So if you decide to have it, make sure that you're willing, ready, and able to sacrifice whatever you need to sacrifice for you and your baby.
And ladies, start vetting the men. Baby, not with that scenario. Baby mama number 4. Y'all really need to think about, do you want to be baby mama number 4? How is he treating the first 3?
You're not special, my dear.
And you're not special. Your female parts is not nothing spectacular that's better than his first 3.
It's just not. It's just not.
They got
I
to do
mean,
better. Like that's really on the ladies.
and
Period.
and again, it's us, and I've done it. It's making choices out of void, loneliness, and low self-esteem. It's a huge, and it's getting better. I'm glad Black women are finally waking up to see their worth in a community that kind of doesn't puts the men or attempts to put the men on a pedestal. So I'm happy that women are beginning to see, Black women are beginning to see that they are worthy, you know, of the best and of being loved and all of those things and not, you know, allowing a lot of the stuff that I saw my mother's generation go through uh with the men. And it was drama, man. I seen a lot of drama. Some of those, marriages, they did survive or whatever, but them women went through some shit. You hear me? This ain't something I heard, it's something I saw with my own eyes. So I'm glad that now finally Black women are saying enough is enough. right?
Yes.
Enough is enough with this crazy ass treatment. And I'd rather be alone than have to deal with this. I am glad you have to choose yourself. The problem is we get into these relationships trying to get these men to love us when they don't even love themselves. They're trying to figure their whole shit out.
They
They
don't.
come from the same circumstances you did,
I
the
was going
same
to say
traumas
that.
you
Yep.
did.
Yep.
Same,
No
same,
daddy. Mama was struggling, working as much as she could. She only could give off so much to him.
same,
Same
same,
circles. Yep.
same, same. So looking for love from them, most of the time you're going to strike out. Now there are some. I know some men who are capable. They love their girlfriends, they love their wives, they love their fiance, they all in, they all about it. So they
Hmm.
are out there. They are out there. But
They
like
are.
Vanessa said, you better vet and
You
think
got to vet them.
long and hard before you have a child with this man. Do you okay with doing it? Just in, he ain't even got to leave. God could take him off the earth.
That's true. That's very,
Life
very true.
is about change. That's my point. It is forever changing. This ain't no fairy tale. This ain't no romance novel. And this ain't no romantic movie. This is real life. And in real life, shit happens. And I want women to start living more in the reality of what is and not so much of our fantasy that we've been programmed to believe. A lot of what we think about relationships and men come from movies and TV shows and all that fairy tale fantasy stuff. But that's just not the case a lot of times. You can look around our community and tell that's not the case. You've got to look out for your best interest, or who else gonna do it? Who else gonna look out for you? Unfortunately, a lot of us, we on you on your own in this thing. That's why it's important for
You
you to
are.
heal. You're on your own. It's super important for you to look at those parts of yourself, like I had to do when I was riding by this man's house in the middle of the night. That was so funny what he said, I know you ride down that house, girl. I was shocked. I was like, he saw me? He called it out. You saw me? But anyway,
Lord.
uh, it's important to heal those parts of you, that don't feel worthy. I had to
Hmm.
look at God set me down though. Literally, God set me down and said, you doing too much to try to get this man to like you, love you, be with you. No, 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 no. You need to look at what's driving this and heal those parts of yourself that don't love yourself enough to know that if he don't want to be with you, then it's his loss.
Hmm.
See, I didn't believe that because I thought he was a prize, right? I saw him as higher than me, better than me, everything more than me. So I'm so thankful that God put that experience in my life so that I could see, Nika, you need to work on your self worth, right? How are you going to ask somebody to love you and you don't even love yourself?
Hmm.
And it's been a journey. This started happening. I was dating him when I was around 24, for 20 years. This has been a 20-year journey of healing. But it's been so worth it. Because now I sit in a place of just pure joy in my heart. Whether I got a man, it don't, never mind. I'm fine. I have plenty of love in my life. I have an amazing life. I don't want for nothing. I don't need for nothing. It's nothing. But it took me healing those broken parts of me to get here. That's why it's important for us as women to work on ourselves. Because if
Hmm.
we don't work on ourselves, we're going to attract low vibrational men into our life, right?
Yep.
If you want to attract the best, you got to be the best. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically.
And physically.
You're going to leave that out. We got to get ourselves together so that we can attract a man that's worthy of our time and spaces, particularly if you're going to go into a relationship or a marriage. If he just your jump off, right? It's cool. If he just your jump off,
Yeah, but if
yeah,
you're trying to do something
you
serious,
out there not yeah, because you need some. If he's just your jump off, but if you're trying to get into a real relationship, you need to make sure that you're vibrating at a level that you can draw in someone who can give you those things, who can meet you where you are. That's what the Bible talks about being equally yoked. Are you vibrationally vibrating in the same place? And if you always meeting men who full of shit, then make sure that checking yourself to say, what is it? Like, what is it? What do I need to look at here to, you know, fix within
mm,
myself that I
mhm,
keep drawing? It always, Michael Jackson said it starts with the man in the mirror.
mhm,
We get what we allow. Because even if you let me tell you something about being healed. When you heal to a certain level, when you've healed yourself to a certain level, you can tell in the first, I don't know, couple of conversations. Oh, okay, he ain't it. You just see Vanita. We talk about this all the
mm,
time. All the time. He we be like, girl, I met this guy and he got on the phone and he said da 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 da. I'm like, oh, he got low self-esteem. Be like,
yep,
exactly. So you just know. You can see it because you've healed and you've evolved and you're vibrating here. So it's like going up an elevator. You pass each floor going up.
you do.
So if you on floor 10 and they on floor 5, you like, oh yeah, he on floor 5.
Mhm,
We don't match vibrationally.
mm-mm.
We just on different levels, if you will. And it's not a money thing or it's not a looks thing.
It's
It's an
not.
energy thing.
It,
It's an energy thing.
mm, yes,
Yeah, that's why again it's important to heal because your energy is emitting. I can be around somebody for 15 minutes and the will confirm this. I can be around, I read energy so well that I can be around somebody for 15 minutes and say whether or not I'm like, have do I not be?
mhm,
Or that person, watch that person, they're gonna do this. Or watch him, he's gonna do that. Or watch her, she's gonna do. And almost every single time I've been proven correct because I read their energy, right? I've been
yep,
around people who, when I'm in their presence, I'll be like, this is a great soul. This is a compassionate, like this person's empathetic. They're a great person because I'm reading their energy, right? That's why it's important to get your energy in check. And you do that by healing from the inside, right? Look at all the BS your mama them said and did to you, all these broken relationships, all of these things that have affected a lot of times the way that we feel about ourselves.
exactly.
All those external sources that a lot of us have taken and almost believed to be true, meaning what they said or what they did. Oh, I must not be good enough because he broke up with me or she broke up with me and they left me. I must not be this enough or that enough. That's an external source, an external
External,
source that you're using to judge yourself.
exactly.
No one can determine your worth but you.
Mm,
And always remember that just because somebody leave, that don't mean you not good enough. They made a decision that was right for their life, right?
yep,
And as far as the children are concerned, it's great to have a good father in the house. But I'm gonna say this again: it's great to have a good father
good.
in the house.
The operative word is good.
Having a man in the home, you know, I saw this post. I told Vanita about it on YouTube, like it's a couple years ago. It was a video, and it was about this girl made a video about her being emotionally disconnected from her father that he was in the house. She
Mm,
said, I can't remember really holding no real conversation with my dad because he would come home from work,
Hmm.
eat, go downstairs or whatever, and then and watch his shows.
His TV show, his football, his whatever,
Yeah,
whatever.
he wasn't connected. So
That's
in the comments,
pointless.
yeah, in the comments, it was so many women saying that they had the same experience. They didn't really have bonding time with their dad, although their dad was in the house. I was shocked how many women, kind of
Mm.
shocked, but not really, about how many women said that. So my point being, he could be in the house and still not be
What's the
connected.
point? Yeah, what's the point if he's not being connected to the kids? What's the
Exactly.
point?
I mean, he in the house, and that's why again, it's women we have to really make sure, and that the men we're having children die, right? You can't never people change their mind. I mean, again, like I said at the beginning of the show, if you're gonna do it, you gotta make sure you can do it by yourself because men change people change their mind all the time.
People, period. Period.
And a
We
lot
all
of times
do.
men get bored in relationships. Relationships can be boring, okay? They can. I don't have any
Period.
kids. I've been in relationships and they get boring. They just do. Right?
They do.
They do. So you have to think about all of this before we're making these decisions. Are you gonna be okay? If he leaves, the relationships get mundane. How are you gonna? It's all of these things instead of just being in. Oh, I love him, girl. It's more than that.
Please balance out your emotional side from your logical side.
We got to. We got to. So we got to because a lot of times we're the ones left holding the bag.
Exactly.
We're left holding the bag in these relationships.
Hmm.
So for her, you're gonna be okay. It might hurt for
That
a
you are.
while. You might be bitter for a minute. Usually it take women, I don't know, 2 to 5 years to get over their baby daddy and be done
That's
with it.
about right. That's
And
about
about
right.
2 to 5 years, you know you'll be good. Let this just be a lesson. We all are learning lessons. This is a huge one because you have children by him. But
Exactly.
let this be a lesson to all of us is to be sure that you're okay with the consequences, the things that may occur. He may not leave, but we just don't know because life is change. We
It
don't know
is.
what the matrix is going to serve up around the corner.
You don't. You
I
have
know someone
no
who had
clue.
a wonderful husband, right? They had a great relationship. He was diagnosed with cancer and was gone 8 months later. They couldn't have foreseen that. A rare form of cancer. And he was gone 8 months later at 36.
It's
How
crazy.
devastating that is and was for her. And it still is.
Hmm.
You just don't know what life is going to serve up. We
Exactly.
got to be cognizant of this when we're making these choices. People leave,
They
people
do.
come, people stay, people go. That's just it's the cycle of life,
It
right?
is.
But she's gonna be okay. She's gonna be okay. Her kids are gonna be okay. You're gonna be fine. You will get through this.
Exactly.
You will get through this. Most of us have been in this position. I've never been in this position with kids. Um, Several women have, but everybody can kind of relate to losing somebody that you love. Which you
Real talk.
always you heal. Time does heal.
Time does. Very much so. As long as you don't hold on to it. Because I will say to the young lady, I know that you're pissed off because he left
Yeah,
to the side piece or whatever that he was cheating with, but you got to deal with him for quite some time. So being mad, which creates nothing but chaos,
yeah.
is really not the answer. If he's trying to come see those kids, let him come see the kids.
For the kids' sake.
For the kids' sake, it has nothing to do with you. Take it as a vacation for yourself.
Absolutely. And I know it hurts. I've been on that end.
Most definitely.
It hurts. He he was one of the probably one of the biggest lessons, of my life. I thank God for it. I thank God for that experience with him because it has grown and evolved me exponentially.
Hmm.
Exponentially. And as painful as it was, I would do it all over again, the exact same way to get here where I am now. Right. So again, like I said, we're gonna talk, in depth, in the future about healing. Because people say heal, but how do you do that? Right?
Great
How do you get
question.
on a journey to healing? What does that mean? Because we can sound these buzzwords, but if ain't nobody telling you how to do it, then it's
Goes
meaningless.
on deaf ears. Yeah.
Yeah, it's meaningless. But we're definitely gonna get into that. But just know if someone leaves your life, and sometimes people leave your life because it's divine timing.
Exactly.
That's what a lot of people don't aren't aware of.
Majority of the time is divine timing. They're
God's plan
leaving
is
because
always
it's necessary. God
it's
was moving them out for a reason, a purpose.
absolutely, absolutely. We'll talk. I'm gonna do a show on that. That'd be a good show to do divine timing because it's not talked about enough in the Matrix because the Matrix don't really want to talk about it.
True.
But we're gonna talk about those spiritual things that a lot of people just don't have awareness of. So,
Mhm.
do you have any closing
No, I think we
things?
covered a lot. I think we covered a lot without going into other topics. So,
Yeah, I think we
yeah,
did. We're gonna be okay. Change is
most definitely.
inevitable.
Hmm.
Relationships come and go. You will be fine. You'll be fine whether someone leaves
It's
your life
okay to
or not.
cry and break down. Don't think that you're not supposed to be feeling those feelings. That's what I would say to the closing.
Yes.
Don't mourn. It's okay.
Yeah, it hurts.
Yes.
We've been there. It hurts. But you're gonna be fine. You will be fine. Time will heal your heart. It
Most
always
definitely.
does. As always, thanks for tuning in wherever you may be watching Facebook, YouTube. If you're watching the playback, I appreciate it. As always, this show went by fast.
Yes, it did.
Like, wow, it's already 50 minutes,
Yep.
which is perfect. Thank you
Yes.
for tuning in. Again, if you're new, please subscribe, share, and like. We're gonna be doing video content like this. This is what we do. We just kind of get our opinion, our dice, our own experience of how we can relate to the scenario, and hopefully we can offer some insight. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you to my lovely co-host, as
You're
always, my
welcome.
bestie. Thank you, ma'am.
You're
And
welcome.
as always, we'll be back next Wednesday. Yeah,
Mhm.
7:30, same time, same place. We'd love to have you come back and join us. And as always, have a fabulous rest of your week and an amazing weekend. Talk to you later.
Yes. Bye
Bye.
bye.